Hi. So, what are isometric movements? So, isometric movements are kind of small movements that engage your muscles, but in fact, you're not doing a full range of movement. You're just using this idea of pressure so that you can engage the muscles. So, this one that we're going to do is going to benefit the shoulders, and you possibly will feel this in the arms. The elbows are just going to come to your sides. So, we want to have a sitting position where we find that we're lifted in that upper spine. So, not so lifted that that lower back is arched, but that there's a sense of lengthening through from the sternum up to, let's say, the top of the throat. At the same time, the back of the neck is not back behind you, but it is back in the sense that it's not arching forward where the chin comes forward. So our posture is important in order to get the most benefit from this. So once again, we're going to place our elbows in towards the spine and the palms face each other. Here, my shoulders are not rolling forward. They are slightly back, so the shoulder blades are coming into this idea of hugging the spine. Imagine that you have a squishy balloon, a balloon that's not so overfilled that if we pushed on it, it would pop, but it's squishy enough that we can push into it and have some pressure so that we can push and then release. And that's all we're going to do is you're going to push into the balloon and release, push and release, push and release, and push and release. I'm going to take my pillow here. I have a squishy pillow. Same idea, where I'm just pushing and releasing, pushing and releasing, pushing and releasing, pushing and releasing. Okay. We're going to take the opposite idea here. So we're going to have one hand where the elbow's bent and the elbows in towards the body. The palm faces in, like before. This time, though, I want to put the pressure out. Now, in order to create some resistance, I'm going to take my other hand, if that's available to you, underneath, and I'm going to hook my fingers around kind of at the wrist or at the bottom of the hand. And I'm going to push my arm out away from the body and into the resistance of the fingers, and push and release. So this one's especially good if you have some rotator cuff irritation. If you have a full out injury, this one may be a little bit advanced for your healing. So I would recommend perhaps not fully pushing this one, maybe just holding this position like this, applying very little pressure. Good. Let's just push and release 2 more times. And then we'll pause and we will let that go. Let's do that on the other side. So you're going to take the elbow in, palm faces in, the other hand slides underneath, curl those fingers around the wrist or slightly at the back of the hand, and pressing this hand away from the body and back into the pressure of the fingers, so the hand or the arm movement is really very minimal. So here you could be getting a little activation of the biceps, the triceps, or the back of the arm, a little bit in the forearm. Good. Let's do 2 more. Press and release, press and release. Good. And then you're just slowly going to unwind that and take that back down. Good. So applying that to our namaste position or prayer position, we can add an isometric here where you're pushing into your hands and releasing, pushing and releasing, pushing and releasing. Now, in this position, you may activate the abs a little bit. So push in for a second, push. See if you notice how the abs kind of draw in, the lower abs kind of draw in as you push and release, and push and release, and push and release, and pause. So coming back to this video to do a little bit of that work, which is helping with strengthening the rotator cuff, the areas surrounding it, as well as doing a little ab work. So prayer positions during the day, whenever you may find yourself sitting for a while, could be helpful as well. So have a wonderful day. Namaste.